Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in this episode I'm going to be covering East York and all of what East York has to offer. But first, show reel, hit it. Is a former borough of Toronto before amalgamation in 1998, and the East York area borders on North York to the north, Scarborough to the east, the Don River, and the old city of Toronto to the south. East York is a very interesting area. There's a mix of different types of people, working class people, professionals. It's a real mix. So with that mix comes different types of homes. Some of the benefits of living in East York: it's a fairly affluent area in that the house prices have come up like every other area of Toronto over time. However, it tends to be, by and large, a more affordable area than some very, very affluent areas of Toronto. So it is attainable to get into the East York area if you are looking for a house. It tends to be a little bit challenging to get around if you're not close to the Danforth, because the Danforth, all along the Danforth is the subway, and that makes it so much easier to get across the city. However, if you're in East York proper, you will actually have to likely take a bus or ride your bike. And it's okay, because if you want to ride your bike or if you want to walk, it's fairly well set up for those in terms of walkability. And also there's bike lanes, so that's excellent. The other thing about East York, it's very community oriented. So their folks here are pretty down to earth, pretty friendly, so it's a great place to live. So East York was originally part of the York Township. And following the incorporation of the township of North York in 1922, York Township was divided into Toronto, Leaside, and North Toronto. With the rapid growth that followed the opening of the Bloor-Danforth Viaduct in 1918, the residents of the eastern half of York Township actually felt that they had been mistreated and neglected by the township when it came to roads, sewers, and other municipal services. So what happened was, when left with the option to either join the city of Toronto or branch out on their own, 448 brave East Yorkers voted to incorporate into a new township. The township of East York was incorporated on January 1st, 1924. And at that time, East York was mostly comprised of market gardens and a racehorse track bound by Oak Park, Lumsden, Chisholm. In the 1930s and 40s, it wasn't unusual to see market gardens dotting the backyards of certain streets like Cosburn, which is just to the north here, Downlands, and Mortimer. Here, residents would actually supplement their income by selling their fruit of their labor. So any produce grown in their backyards and their back gardens. And as the World War I veterans came back from war, many of them settled here. Many inexpensive homes were actually built to house these returning veterans and also the baby boomers. Interestingly enough, for many years, East York did not allow the serving of alcoholic beverages at all in many of the restaurants. And the result was a heavy concentration of alcohol serving restaurants and bars along the Danforth, which runs east-west, just south of this area here. Now, the prohibition of serving alcohol ended in the 1970s. The borough itself of East York was actually established in 1967 through the amalgamation of the former township of East York and the former town of Leaside. Now, over the years, East York has actually served as an enclave to a lot of senior citizens, believe it or not. More recently, there's been a rapid regentrification, and that's really changed East York, as you will see it as it is today. And many of the bungalows have actually been topped up and converted into a two-story home. So let's get out there and check out what East York has to offer. Here we are in Wadlow Park. It's one of the central hubs that services the area for a lot of sport. You'll actually see during the tour that many of the shops have also been converted into very upscale shops. And in 1998, East York, along with other parts of Toronto, were actually amalgamated into what we know today as Toronto's megacity. Now, just prior to amalgamation, East York was Canada's last remaining borough. East Yorkers are truly lucky to have an abundance of parkland and green space like this. In other words, there's enough green space in this area that remains preserved, and a wonderful, morning stroll is great. Or an afternoon family get-together with family and friends in this green space provides a really quiet and relaxed atmosphere and escape from the city's very busy life and loud life. And this is surrounded by the city in every which way. Community involvement in East York parks especially is particularly high, with residents being very, very active in their children's sports. In fact, this outdoor skate park attracts skateboarders of all ages and skills. East York skateboarders have been a driving force in the community engagement piece for families and children and youth in this area for many years. So check out this amazing skateboarder area with all sorts of ramps and a huge skateboard bowl. It's hopping tonight. Dawnlands has a series of petite, locally owned restaurants that can actually range from local diners, organic cafes, or other cultural cuisine. And we've also seen specialty grocers such as Fresh from the Farm. These products are produced in these communities that are organic. You can see right over there, you can see Fresh from the Farm. This is a great little mom and pop shop that supports fresh, non-GMO foods right from the farm, and it really supports those that are really health conscious in the area. The smaller storefronts along the main corridors may hit your wallet a little bit softer, but what they lack in size, they make up for in an enthusiastic owner and customer service that really values you as a customer to return to the area. Now, you probably know the Wally. It's a staple in Pape Village. As a local hangout that typically serves pub grub, this place offers a really clean and fun atmosphere for East Yorkers and those in Toronto beyond East York's borders. The majority of East Yorkers' housing stock was actually built in stages beginning in the 1890s and continuing right through until the 1960s. Since building took place over such a long period of time, you can see a myriad of different kinds of homes, anywhere from bungalows, you see semis, 2 stories, houses that are redone, 1.5 stories, etc., dotting all the streets. So East York was originally populated with working class English who actually valued their space and the opportunity to own a very small home on a large plot of land. And in recent years, East York has become a major arrival point for new immigrants. You see a lot of Europeans and people from different destinations. Its proximity to, as I mentioned, the open green space, local tourist attractions, position this area as a great area. There's great local schools, and it's really for finding a new home. East York is conveniently located 10 to 15 minutes downtown Toronto's financial district and entertainment districts. Real estate in East York, like most Toronto neighborhoods, has seen a rise. It's been a steady rise. Now, the clear attraction to the neighborhood can be seen in the abundant selection of post-World War II bungalows, which offer the ability to get into the market at a little bit of a lower price, with glimmers of hope for if you're a renovator. You'll see that there's a rare town-like feeling that brings all of East York together as a tight-knit community. So a variety of homes like bungalows, semi-detached and 2-story homes are found in a variety of or varying states of transition. So if you're a first-time home buyer, this may be a great place for you to settle. This is one of the city's renovating hotspots. And Wadlow Park, and it's a park near O'Connor Avenue and Woodbine Avenue. It features 6 baseball diamonds, and one of the baseball diamonds actually has lights for night, which I think you can see in the background, and as well a separate clubhouse. And the park has a bunch of multi-purpose fields, a large 2-sided walled tennis area, a zone for dogs, off-leash area, a splash pad, a children's playground, an arena. And this is a well-known hub for East Yorkers and sports enthusiasts alike. Everyone, so Knuckle Sandwich is right behind me, and some people claim it's one of the best places to get sandwiches in all of Toronto. And they actually use locally sourced and naturally raised meats and fresh made ingredients, which is awesome. You should try it for yourself. The menu is inspired by a demand for healthy and sustainable ingredients, while obviously balancing your needs for that craving for that knockout sandwich. So if you're looking for a great sandwich, it's probably equivalent to at least 2 knuckles. So Lickety Split is right there behind me, and it's a full service ice cream parlor. And you can get your ice cream cone, you can get your cups, your banana split, your ice cream cakes, and even your authentic Greek frappe. Russian hard scoop, you rotate 300 flavors. Wow, look at this. So you can see here, and they've been around since 2011. So try it out. One of the hot spots on Coxwell Avenue. Cool. Look at these cool little bowls. They're so delectable. That's awesome. Yummy. And if I didn't gain so much weight during COVID, I would have some. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing outside of the East York Community Centre, and as you can see in the background, this is a community garden. It's a children's community garden, and this very garden was started by a very active group, neighborhood group in the community. And in conjunction with some city divisions like Toronto Public Health, as well as Toronto Parks, Forestry and Rec, that actually is the staff here, and some other very active community organizations started this very important community garden. And the idea is that the community will glean or take what they need in terms of vegetables and fruits from the garden, fruits of the labor, and also give back by helping to maintain the garden. And as you can see, the garden has been maintained despite the fact that we've had COVID, because there's some stakes and fencing that's been put up to make sure the garden is still maintained and watered, etc. And actually, the nearby school, which is just up the way, called William Burgess, they're very active in helping to maintain the garden. And in the past, there is a youth shelter that was also very important in maintaining the garden. And also the youth shelter was involved in painting the boxes. You can see that some of the boxes over here are painted very nicely. So the youth shelter actually helped with that. This artwork on the wall, the children, very active children in the community, were consulted with to find out exactly what they wanted, and this is what they came up with. So I hope you've enjoyed the content of this video, and if you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you're thinking of moving to East York or anywhere in Toronto, don't forget to reach out to us via direct message, email, or on your favorite social media platform. We're here to help, and we've always got you covered. Until next time, this is Pamela Haines from Homes by Pam, helping you with your real estate matters.